Collaborative spaces aren't the offices of yesterday, or even today for that matter. They're cool, bright, inexpensive, and attracting generational talent both young and old. First catching hold on the West Coast, the hub has seen an influx of open workspaces popping up in Cambridge, Somerville, and Boston. Ivana Nowodumska, digital media and events manager at the co-working space Work Bar, believes that they are the answer to those seeking the best of both worlds.
So co-working levels the fact that you need workspace, quiet workspace, which you can get in a co-working space. But it also gives you that social part that we as humans need. And it's very individual as well. If you are a person that cannot get work done unless you are completely, remote and in a library type of setting, then maybe a co-working space isn't right for you. But if you're someone who can have a healthy balance of working and socializing, and take advantage of the benefits that a co-working space can provide, then a co-working space is a good solution.
These spaces value innovation and providence. When, because of the lack of barriers, one worker turns in his seat to another colleague with a question, and an idea emerges instead. Every space believes that its sense of community is what drives their achievement, including Work Bar's space and community manager, Allison Baldiga.
I think it's back to the community, of having a strong community. I think for co-working spaces that are successful, a lot of it has to do with the community aspect and how well do people get involved and want to be there. Because if the people don't want to come, then you have no business. And that community aspect of making sure people have a chance to network and meet other businesses or meet people to collaborate with, it's really a large part of the success, and how, what our ultimate goal is a strong place for community as well as being productive in your business.
Hybrid workspaces didn't always have prime real estate in the city. They often began in the new millennium in places like dorm rooms and apartments. As companies and startups gained more capital, they were able to expand their location from a bedroom to a boardroom. To Baldiga, the answer is obvious why entrepreneurs would choose to relocate into open spaces.
You can have something where you have it at home, or you could have it at a friend's house or at a coffee shop, but in the end, that's not a place where you can really take some ownership. I mean, your dorm room you can, but there's always going to be things to distract you there. And so having a separate space that can kind of be your workspace, whether it's your home office, whether it's your co-working space, we like to be a place where people can come to and, like I said, see other people, find other people that are doing similar projects, or someone that's been around a little bit longer and you can ask an opinion of. So I think it's for the focus and for opinions of others too.
Darius Kazemi, Director of Community Development at Boku in Boston, likes the versatility that co-working can provide. He believes no space has to be tied down to just one concept.
It's unique because we do a whole bunch of different things with our business here. We're not just a co-working space, we're also a JavaScript consulting company, and we also run events for the community here. So there's several pillars to our business, and most places I know of don't do those sorts of things. It's usually just co-working or just consulting.
There are 4 features that many of these spaces have in common and inspire to create, such as good lighting, windows, whiteboards for writing down ideas or thoughts, and break areas where the employees can step away for their own personal time and space, or even fun. Privacy is of utmost importance in an open layout space, and almost all spaces provide that little getaway, even with unique features like phone booths. But Baldiga believes that the most important feature entrepreneurs look for is inspiration.
Well, a lot of what we get requests for, we have forms that come in regularly of people what they're needing, and a lot of it is just being around like-minded people that are working on new projects, that have a creative mindset, that want to possibly work in collaborations, or just to be around those other people, I think, inspires people, makes them more creative and maybe more productive if they see, okay, they're getting stuff done on their project. Okay, I need to get to work on mine and take it to the next level.
Businesses also like hybrid workspaces because of the friendliness to small budgets. Baldiga believes that the cost of efficiency of co-working gives entrepreneurs one less thing to worry about.
I think for a startup, for a starting business, or even an established business, I think it can be, just because if you've got a business that has all cubicles, you're renting out the entire space, you're paying, the utilities, the internet, the coffee, everything. Whereas if you come in and you're 2 people, but you obviously don't need a full office space right away, you can pay a certain amount per person per month for membership and have all those amenities, and you don't have to worry about taking care of them. So it's also not just the cost of the monetary cost, but also the time that you're saving of not having to take care of all those bills yourself.
While Boston may not have been the birthplace of the hybrid space, Mimi Graney, executive director of Union Square Main Streets and Design Annex, believes that the hub played a part in introducing new concepts other than tech to the emerging spaces.
We maybe weren't the leaders, but I think that we're kind of on trend with other spaces. I think going back to co-working starting initially on the tech field, we were probably one of the earlier places that sort of looked at how to bring this model into other industries and meet the needs of other kind of people in the workplace, not just high tech.
The millennial generation, which are young Americans born between the early 80s and the early millennium, have had a large influence on why collaborative workspaces are now so in demand. Elizabeth Meek of design firm Sasaki Associates Incorporated believes that millennials were simply raised to collaborate and they want to keep it that way.
Because people learned, maybe 10 years ago, that social learning is as important as more traditional learning styles. So colleges and universities have all taken that on. That works with the technology. That's the way the millennials learn, and then that's the way they want to continue to learn and work moving forward.
But moving into a space with an open layout is not that simple. Victor Viscatis, another principal architect at Sasaki, believes that it requires a culture shift to successfully adapt to new changes.
I do think that's a big part of it. Is it's not as easy as just sort of mandating we're going to move to a really open environment. There is a cultural shift that has to happen, and I think as designers we can certainly help companies move that process along and help sort of all the staff understand what it's going to be like and how you have to manage that change. And it's also, I think, incumbent on the leadership of the companies who are making that change to help people understand the benefits, how we're going to work through all of this together, what it's going to be like, and how it's going to be an improvement to the culture.
If there is one thing these designers don't doubt, it's that the open workspaces are here to stay and are the offices of the future.
I think something like this is here to stay for a long time. I think it will continue to evolve. I would be very curious to see. I would imagine that it's going to evolve into a much more collaborative type of environment where the individual desk becomes less important. You do have the ability to work from anywhere, and it's more about creating more and more spaces where people in a company across disciplines, perhaps even across companies,
Right.
As ways of fostering innovation, because that's happening when individuals get together and cross paths, not necessarily.
Right. Less about desk, more about community.
No worries.